Good morning, children. This is Aruna Rajaputra with today's social studies topic Industrial Revolution for class 7 state syllabus. You all have already studied that artisans who make handicrafts and handloom products and many are not able to compete with machine made products stopped practicing their professions. Today we will explore how machines have dominated the handmade products and impacted the lives of the people, increasing control of traders. During 1500 AD to 1800 AD, trade between countries in America, Europe, Africa and Asia increased manifold and European traders began to use putting out system. What is a putting out system? Children, a system by which the European traders give advances to small farmers and artisans to produce textile goods. Coming to the stages of putting out system. A cloth trader purchased cotton from a cotton supplier. A trader carried the cotton to the spinner. The yarn was taken by the trader to the weaver. The cloth was taken to the further fullers and finally to the dyer who give it color. After all the finishing work is done, it was sold in other places. Thus, textile goods were produced by a large number of producers who were controlled by the traders. After some time, the traders slowly developed a system by which all these units of production are brought under one roof called manufactories. And the manufactured products were sold in the market by the traders, and slowly the control of the traders over the craft persons increased, and this phase is called proto-industrialization. Coming to the topic, beginning of the Industrial Revolution 1715 to 1850 AD. In about 1750 AD, machines and steam power began to be increasingly used to produce goods, to move goods and the people from one place to another. Many people moved to towns and cities for work. This was the beginning of the machine age in Britain. When the demand for the cloth handicrafts increased, artisans felt that to supply the cloth made with looms could be expensive, and machines could have been to spin yarn faster and weave cloth faster and produce more cloth at lower price and meet the supply and earn more profit. Finally, out of the pressure of trade and work, many tried making such machines and were successful, invented a machine. Spinny Jenny, a new machine to spin yarn. So invented a machine which could spin lots of yarn in a short time, but the machine were very heavy and the artisans thought it is so tiring to turn the machines with hands or feet and felt that machines could turn by themselves. He is James Watt, who invented the steam engine, and he is George Stephenson, a British engineer who invented the railway engine in 1814. He is known as the father of railway. Now we will learn about the James Watt invention, children. James Watt was an English craftsman who invented machines. Notice that steam had so much strength that it could move enormous weight. So he tapped this energy and made a machine which could run with the help of steam and would not need men or animals to drive it. Here, this is a machine. Okay, this is one of the steam engine made by the James Watt. The piston under the pressure from the steam pushes the rod up and down, which in turn turns the wheel. This is the rod connecting the piston and the wheel. James Watt entered into the partnership with the industrialist Boulton, who could make the investment of money for making machines and pay salary to him. Watt made the steam engine. Both Boulton and the James Watt made an agreement of sharing the profits in the ratio of 2/3 to the Boulton and 1/3 to the James Watt, and made many machines and made huge profits. Once it is established that machines could run on steam, then such machines were made for all kinds of work, such as spinning, weaving, making iron tools, driving vehicles and ships, etc. Factory system of production, children. Coming to the topic. During 1750 to 1850 AD, a new system called the factory system emerged. In place of simple tools and manual power, new machines and steam power came to be increasingly used. Production was now carried on in a place called factory. Hundreds of workers were brought together to work in these large factories. They produced goods on a very large scale. All facilities for production were owned and managed by the individuals called capitalists. They invested money on workers, raw material, machines, etc. and owned them, children. Next, coming to the topic, the experience of 19th century child worker. In 19th century, the industrial workers of Europe had to face several hardships. Experience of the child in an English coal mine. Here, children pushing cart inside the coal. This is the boy. He has been working in the mine since he was 4. Workers hew coal with pickaxes and fill these large wagons with it. Their job is to push these load wagons to the point from where horses or mules can haul them. This is a difficult job and was to be for more than 12 hours a day. This boy used to fall asleep on the way to home sometimes, and mother used to search for him and carry him home. There were several movements to stop employing children in this manner in factories and mines. In response to these movements, child labor was banned, and now it is a thing of the past in most European countries. Inside early factories, children, major changes swept industries with the coming of machines. Skilled artisans were no longer required, as even unskilled women and children can work for the meager wages. Once again, inside early factories, major changes swept industries with the coming of machines. Skilled artisans were no longer required, as even unskilled women and children can work for meager wages. Only wealthy merchants can set up mechanized industries, as machines cost a lot of money and ordinary artisans could not afford them. When new machines were introduced, many workers were thrown out of the factories. Working hours for the workers were more than 14 hours. The factory owners uses whips to guard workers keep working. Here, this picture shows redrawing of an illustration of inside of a factory. So gradually all the workers formed their own organizations to fight against the conditions of the work, to reduce the timing of the work, to increase the wages, that is the higher wages, and the successful and the conditions of the workers improved. These illustrations were made during the time of Industrial Revolution. Here given are the sequences of pictures about a textile mill factory. Here it is a big factory with a lot of workers. We could find number of ladies working at various positions. There are grown-up gents who seem to be the superiors in this picture. This picture shows working conditions are hazardous in nature and safety precautions are minimum. And this picture shows even children seem to be employed. Women and children are made to work. But now, children, work has become automated with machines and directed by the computers. These are few sources of energy and industrial developments which are used in. Energy is available from coal, electricity, petroleum. Now other sources of energy like thermal and hydroelectricity, petroleum, natural gas, nuclear energy and solar energy also. Here you can see energy is available from coal, wind, solar energy, steam engine, electricity, James Watt steam engine, electricity produced from water, hydroelectricity and a biogas plant. These are some of the sources of energy which are used in industrial development, children. Now coming to the topic, transport revolution. The invention of steam engine boosted shipping industry. The next, coming to the adaptation of steam engine to locomotive. George Stephenson locomotive he made that one locomotive, and it pulled heavy loads along the 64-kilometer track from Liverpool to Manchester at a speed of 46 meters per hour. Here, Stephenson rocket, the locomotive designed by George Stephenson. Here you can see. In 1840s, John Loudon McAdam devised a method of laying road using broken stones. Within another decade, bitumen-based binding, which we see in our areas as tar roads, were built, which was further followed by the use of motor cars. Here you can see the tar roads, and these are the Wright brothers. In the early 20th century, aircraft was developed by the Wright brothers, and today air transport is a major means of transport. Coming to the trade in the industrial products, children, industrial revolution increased so much that factory owners began to sell them in other countries too, as machine made goods were cheap and durable, and the demand for them increased all over the world and boosted the industries in England and other countries. English traders purchased raw materials from India and other countries and sold them to the factory owners, and the traders purchased the finished products and sold them in the countries like India, America, etc. France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Holland and others conquered colonies for themselves in Asia, Africa, Australia and America. European countries exploited the colonies in other countries and grew wealthy in this process. Coming to the topic urbanization and slums. Industrial revolution promoted urbanization. Rural migrants settled in towns to earn livelihood by giving their services to industries. They faced some problems like ill health, less wages, poor working conditions. Later, they fought for their rights and achieved them. The rich started dominating the society. Slum areas are expanded with migrants. This is a world map showing the colonies of European countries in 1800. The areas color index. Red color are the colonies, areas are the colonies of United Kingdom. Blue color areas are the colonies of France. Green color areas are the colonies of Portugal. Yellow color areas are the colonies of Spain. Orange color areas are the colonies of Netherlands. Light brown are the colonies of Turkey. Task for this video. Task 1. Do you think the child labor must be banned? Why? Why not, children? Second one, task. Do you know any child working in a factory or a shop? If you find, how do you respond? Thank you all, children. Have a nice day.